I just want to start one time with, you are looking live from Boone, North Carolina. Wouldn't it be fun to be up there today?
Oh.
That was a lie, by the way. But wouldn't it be fun to be in Boone, North Carolina? And, I was talking with Lanny about it before you guys got here. In a way, I'd love to be there. On the sensible side, it tells me, don't be there today.
Yeah.
That crowd is going to be massive.
And
you won't be able to get around. You won't be able to get in a restaurant.
It's going to be hot.
You won't be able to get in a bar. You won't be able to get in the stadium. It'll take a while to get in the stadium. Tickets are going for, does anybody know?
One student was interviewed on one of the TV stations last night. 13,000.
Okay.
I mean,
selling or buying? You said one student.
Well, he said he heard that some tickets were going for 13,000 apiece.
Yeah. I'm not in.
No.
I know, Mike. You didn't have to speak.
Yeah, in one way I would love to be there, but another way it would be such a hassle.
What are you willing to pay for the ultimate event? Whatever it may be. What's the top dollar you would pay to go either see your favorite concert, the Super Bowl, World Series Game 7, NBA Championship Game
500.
7?
That's what came to mind.
$500. Anybody willing to go higher out there? I'd like to know. That's what are you willing to pay?
It would be a concert because I'm not paying $500 for the disappointment of a loss.
Yeah, 27-0. Whenever you want to go see a really good game and you pay that money, 27-0. Just throwing a score out there, or a baseball game that one of the teams gets 8 runs in the first.
Well, that'd be fine as long as it was
your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be bad to pay that much and your team loses.
Yeah. To pay that much, does it necessarily have to be your team? I mean, I'm just asking. How much would you pay if? Let me think here just a second. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes is a big draw. If say Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl, we'll say it's in Charlotte.
Oh yeah, that's a different story.
Who would you match them up against? Who would be? What would you want to see them? If Mahomes is on the AFC side,
Rodgers.
Yeah, Green Bay and Rodgers. What are you paying for that?
Or maybe
you
Brady.
wouldn't get $500 to see that if that was the Super Bowl and you
a good seat. Yeah, I'm not paying $500 to sit
up at the top,
upper level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know what? Those tickets would go for a whole lot more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'll never see one of those again.
Yeah.
I would pay $500 for OU Texas in the Wed Wivel Wobbly.
Would you?
Yep.
Yeah, but see, in that one, you're also going to have to pay for airfare.
Yeah.
Hotel.
And then there's the Texas State Fair right next door to the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah. That's why I said let's pick Charlotte. You don't have to.
So you're gonna
pay
spend more than $500 to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. I don't even know I'm guessing. I may be wrong. I'm guessing that whatever we gave for the Rolling Stones ticket is the most I've ever spent on a ticket. Wasn't it around $150?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone over that for any kind of ticket to anything.
And if you want to see Springsteen next year,
it'll be more.
You'll have to go over that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to go over.
Why? Well, I know, Mike, but we don't know where that. I don't know if we know where that line is. Do we know where that line? You said go over it. I mean, that leaves the door wide open. You talking about 1,000? You talking? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not paying $500 for that because I've already seen him 3 times.
Yeah, we've seen him.
My problem is I've never seen Springsteen.
Yeah. But I just wonder what some of the guys would say that they're willing to pay.
And what I would have paid $500 to see would have been the Springsteen on Broadway.
Yeah, that would
in
be
a very
really
small setting,
really good.
Small venue.
Telling stories.
Yeah,
not just singing, but telling
that would
stories.
Be worth $500. Easily.
Yeah.
Just some of our listeners out there, I want them to weigh in. Would it be give me your matchup if it's a ball game? Give me your group if it's a concert. What else is there?
That's a good question.
If it's not a concert or a sporting event, is there anything else that brings top dollar to, not a rodeo, or
opera,
WWE,
Broadway,
a play?
No, I would not pay anything.
I would go to a play for $500.
Maybe it depends. On
long as they give me at least $500.
You guys,
You misunderstood that.
you guys
Mike.
just don't like theater.
No.
culture.
I don't. It depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. But
No, I've never had any desire to see a Broadway play or musical.
You don't want to give up your man card? Is that it?
It's just not my thing. It's
Just
got
kidding.
nothing to do with that. And I
I
just
know.
if I was going to pay
I just have no
500,
interest.
500 to go to a Broadway play, for most of them, I would have had to have won the half and half last night at Crest. You know, and then I might have ventured that.
I would rather just seen that game.
Yeah, what a game, boy. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Somebody got their money's worth last night,
Yeah.
didn't they? Somebody got their money's worth at that Crest and Shelby game last night. Shelby blew a 23-0 lead and loses late on a late. You guys told me a 90-some yard touchdown
94
pass,
yards.
94-yard touchdown pass. Crest comes away with a 50. Tell me if I'm right.
49.
54-49. And Shelby actually had a chance to win at the end. They were on the 18-yard
Yeah.
line going in,
Yeah,
but threw a
they-
pick at the goal line.
That's right.
So.
Which would have been returned for a 100-yard touchdown, but the guy just fell down eventually.
So which is going to be the greatest memory if you're at that game and you watch that classic and you won $90-some thousand at the same time? Which is
Wow. They're both pretty etched in your
Well,
memory.
that much money is what you're going to.
Yeah,
that's exactly what
remember
you're
the
gonna
most.
remember.
Mhm.
That's exactly what you're going
But
to
a lot of people are going to remember that game.
Is it still a
for
great
long
okay,
time.
if you're a Shelby fan and you won that money, are you still okay?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you're fine.
People are going to
We'll
talk
be
about that
okay.
game for a long time in Cleveland County because of
Yeah.
a 23-point lead going away.
well, just the back and forth. I mean, the lead changed.
Yeah, once
And-
Crest caught up, it did.
Yeah.
It did go back and forth. I
Crest
heard.
has not made an extra point or a field goal all year. They just go for two
Is that right?
almost every time. They had 2 extra point attempts blocked last night. Every other time they just
I did
went
not
for two.
realize that.
They don't kick.
I did not realize that. That's
I've always wondered how powerhouse programs like that, for some reason, just can't find a.
well. Most time they do. I mean, Shelby's had the.
Oh yeah, Shelby's.
I mean,
had a
not
history.
Shelby, not Shelby. I meant to say Crest. Crest
Yeah.
has had kickers. Crest has had. We saw didn't a Hispanic kicker one year, Brett, that was at Crest win the game we went to, a playoff game
Yeah.
over Northern Guilford. Hit a
Yeah.
long field goal to win the game. Left-footed too, if I remember right. They also had the kid that didn't miss an extra point all year long, and then unfortunately in the state championship, heartbreaking, he missed one and they lost by
Yeah.
a point. You know, do you remember? You recall that, Mike? That's yeah. That's.
I mean,
they've
when
had kickers.
When I
They've
think of
had
high
kickers.
school kicking excellence, I always think of Shelby. They've had a long
Well,
line of it.
it goes back to Clint Gwaltney.
Yeah, Guelph.
You know, that went to Wake Forest, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Or Carolina won. Which one did he go? He went to one of
I think
those
it
two.
was
And
Carolina.
he was very good.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, they've always had a long line of good kickers. Yeah, that one year at Shelby, I saw one go like 45 yards against the wind, and I mean a pretty good wind.
Yeah.
And they beat West Caldwell in a playoff game. Yes, West Caldwell was in the deep third round or so.
Well, it must have
fourth
been
round.
back in the 80s when they
Yeah,
had
it
their
was.
brief
It was.
flirtation with.
I just said Gwaltney, so that would have
Yeah.
been. Wouldn't that take us back to
Mhm.
late 80s if I'm not
I
mistaken?
do want to point out that I was the only member of our prognosticating panel that picked Crest,
Yes, you were.
riding
Which gives
the
you an
crest
extra point.
of a wave coming in.
And you know the funny part, Crest had really been struggling,
Yeah.
and then it's okay if you've been struggling and you just got beat by 3 touchdowns by a county rival, and then you play the next one and you go down 23-0. A lot of teams will quit.
Yeah.
A
And
lot
they
of
did.
a lot of teams were just like, it's like
Yeah.
what's going on? We're just But
That's
you're
a
right.
Remarkable comeback.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see, and I have no idea, but I could probably find it somewhere, the time, the scoring summary and the timeline and how they made their comeback. And
Well, on the broadcast I heard going home last night, they went over the entire scoring summary. It took about 15 minutes. So, wow.
Yeah, well, we were at a long football game
Yeah, we were.
with East Lincoln and Lincoln, and that one lasted at least,
10, 15?
I'm talking about the Shelby game.
Oh, yeah.
I
even
think it
longer.
lasted to 11.
11.
Close to
It was-
11, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
close to 11.
11. I mean, we're talking, and it did not go to overtime. So we're talking about 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was
3.5
It
hours.
was about 10:50.
But I will say this: if I was at that game and it went 3.5 hours, I wouldn't complain.
No.
Not the way that thing went back and forth and turned out. I'm not.
And this Chris quarterback, he just reeled off 94 yards. It was a couple 60-some yarders.
Didn't you say 6 TD passes for the Crest
6
quarterback?
TD passes is what I heard.
I wonder if that's a record for Crest because they've thrown some in the past, but more of a power running team.
That's right.
With some really good backs that have been fast. Who was the back they had a few years ago that went to a couple different colleges before he settled down? Might have started at Virginia and then went somewhere else and left Virginia. Wound up at
Harbison.
Harbison.
Yeah. They always had a really good running game. But I'll tell you, I wonder what year the quarterback is that threw all those touchdowns last night. I wonder if anybody knows if he's a senior or not, and if he's getting looked at. Just checking out a few headlines here. Am I reading this right? Old Dominion
Yeah.
defeated Virginia Tech
For the second time in 4 years.
Yeah. What's going on there?
I don't know. Old Dominion just a new Sun Belt Conference member, by the way. They'll be playing App.
Well, look out.
Yeah.
Old Dominion.
20-17.
I can't
right?
tell you a lot about Old Dominion football, but isn't there an NFL guy right now? And maybe even a quarterback.
There was a quarterback.
That's from ODU. I remember the kid years ago that played at Burlington Cummings that wound up going to Old Dominion.
They were
really good
brothers,
basketball
Williamson.
player, too.
There were
Williamson,
Bo and Drew. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, I think it was Drew. But I may be wrong. Yeah, Brett.
Old
Good
Dominion.
memory, Brett.
When
Drew
I think
and
of
Bo
Old
Williamson.
Dominion, didn't they beat Duke one time in the NCAAs in a shocking upset?
Taylor Heineke. With Washington Commanders. He's the Old Dominion quarterback.
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor
Of
Heineke.
course.
Of course, yeah.
Panthers, then
Right on the tip of your tongue.
then
Right?
the Washington Commanders.
College Football Playoff Board decides on 12-team playoff format. Brett sent me a message yesterday afternoon telling me that.
Yeah.
I had not heard it,
Big news.
but I am
Broke
pleased. Now, I know
yesterday.
we're going to have to wait about 3 years minimum to
Well, if they can get it worked out, it could be as early as 2024.
why does it take that long to work? What is it that has to get worked out?
It's the TV deals.
TV
TV,
deal.
That's what-
and that's it, just TV.
That's all it is.
Yeah, because you can work the bowls. If you want to play bowls, you can work the bowls. I mean, if you're going to take 12 teams, that means 4 teams are going to get a bye, right?
4 power conference champs.
We'll get a bye. Is that the way they're going to do it? Well, that's good to know. I did not know that. Okay, so 4 power conference champs will get a bye, and then the other 8 will play each other to see who the final 8 are. So that means you got basically a play-in round. Then that gets you to 8. You play to get to
And that
4,
play-in
to 2,
round,
to 1. So you got
teams
4
will
rounds.
play home games.
Is that what they'll do? The play-in round will be at home and not bowls.
The first 4 games, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I guess after that they just designate bowls, right? Bowl games as sites.
Well, that would only
Probably.
that would leave you 4, 2, and 1, right? Give you 7 bowl games is what that would do. That's pretty good
Yeah.
if they do it that way. That's pretty good. I like that.
And some of those could be played at the same site. You could play a like a quarterfinal game at,
I'll tell you one thing you should not see now.
in Phoenix and then go back for the national championship to the same site.
Is that what they'll do?
I mean, I don't know.
One thing you shouldn't see though is these stadiums half full, at least for those 7 bowl games.
That's right.
Because
they're meaningful.
if you're at that point, you're going to be in the final 8.
Yeah.
And my guess is the fan bases at all of these teams that are in the final 8
Yeah.
are big enough that they're going to go wherever that first full round game is and fill that place up. I wonder if that played in. If that played into the decision that we need more teams in the playoffs, just because we watched quite a few bowls on TV. I mean, who played in Charlotte? That thing was not half full, was it?
Yeah.
Or maybe that wasn't this year I'm thinking about, but Lenny says Clint Gwaltney did go to UNC, and today is high in the UNC athletic department as an administrator.
Okay.
So how about that?
Good for
He
him.
went and he did not leave. Yep. Yeah, and now give us the year on him kicking it at Shelby, Lenny. I want to say late
he gets
80s.
that one.
Late 80s, right around 90. I think it was early enough that Brett was young enough. He didn't even go with me to that
Who
game,
was
I don't
the
think.
Shelby coach then? Can you name him?
I think I went to that game with the late Todd Singh is who I
Singh.
attended that game with. Yep.
That would have been Taylor. Was he there in the
Yeah. Coach.
80s?
Jim Taylor? Or would it have been Chris Norman?
No, I'd been Taylor then.
Taylor.
Yep. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that one. Back then, I mean that may be the same year that Shelby hosted.
They hosted.
No, he did not play in the late 70s. Lenny, he's younger than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm thinking mid 80s.
yeah. What I was going to say is Shelby, hosted Burlington Cummings one year in the state championship game. That was when was that Chucky Burnett, Brett? When do you remember? I know you weren't there, but Lenny would know. I think that was when Chucky Burnett and them rolled in. Lou Holtz was supposedly at the game. I don't know if he was there or not. He was the Notre Dame head coach at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And where did Chucky Burnett? Did he go to Carolina as well? Where did he wind up going to play? Well, we're going way back today.
Yeah. Chucky Burnett.
Yeah. They were good. One time, Burlington Cummings, all too well, was a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
This says Gwaltney was a 92 graduate of UNC.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
So
88.
about 88.
around 87,
That's what I was
88.
thinking, late 80s.
Yeah. Yep. Very good kicker, that's for sure. Seemed like I had one went to Wake too, and I always get the two names mixed up at Shelby, and then of course Julian Roush went to he wasn't there. He was at Ashbrook. Julian Roush from Ashbrook went to Boone to play. So some popular names, popular kickers. Carolina. Lenny says Burnett also went to Carolina. I was thinking like he went to Carolina. And here's the thing about it. If you have to ask and don't remember, it didn't turn out quite as well as you thought it might. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened to him after that or anything, or why it didn't go so well, but evidently it did not.
Well, somebody I heard an interview with a sports writer who just published a book about he tracked like 100 5-star quarterbacks and what happened to them. And I want to get that book. And because you got some dramatic stories there. If you're a 5-star quarterback in high school and, you sign with a big school and then it doesn't work out, or probably a lot of really human stories in that book.
I just thought of something. We do our music poll every week, and our song poll. Which one would you choose? And we're going to do that. We're going to get the song out here in the next 10 minutes before we go to timeout. But I just thought, which game today is bigger in the state of North Carolina?
Oh,
UNC going to App
or
NC State and East Carolina?
Well, from our part of the state, this region, we're thinking Carolina.
If I had to guess which one would draw higher ratings, I would guess App and Carolina. And one of the main reasons is it's newer.
Yeah,
they haven't. They've played each other once. Is that right?
And App won.
And NC State and East Carolina have played. They have a long history.
That's right.
But I will say this. I would say that from Raleigh East, that State and East Carolina would probably,
without a doubt,
have the higher ratings, and then
it's regional.
And then probably from Raleigh West, that Appalachian and North Carolina would have the higher ratings. But I don't even know if it'll come show you anything like that or not. But it should be two highly watched, because they are highly anticipated matchups. I'm a little surprised they're on the same day.
Yeah. What's the kickoff time?
There's probably a lot of people that would attend both of those games if given the opportunity. Well, tell me what time App and.
Unfortunately, I don't like it. Noon.
Same. NC State and East Carolina high noon.
Okay.
Now you would have thought they would at least juggled the times a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We're
Well, there's a lot of games
keep the remote
games
handy.
today going head to head against each other on TV.
just keep the you have to keep the remote handy today and start it at high noon with those two North Carolina matchups, which I don't know. I don't know how much better it gets for the state, really.
No,
I mean,
it's a terrific opening day.
these matchups. I mean, the ratings may outweigh a North Carolina State matchup later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the interest level is really high, but just because it's only the second meeting between App and North Carolina, should be
well,
good.
of course, North Carolina's not the first big-time team to travel to Boone. They've had a precedent for that. See, Miami, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anybody else? Has anybody else gone up 321?
Well, I'm going to say that's the two biggest programs so far. I think you may see more. Is anybody scheduled in the future? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, and they've already made.
Is
them
NC
out.
State coming, or
Could be.
is are any of the? Why not get East Carolina up there? And
That'd be great.
that's a matchup that ought to happen every year.
I think it should.
Is East Carolina and Appalachian, and just go back and forth. But
Appalachian Wake should happen every year.
Appalachian and Wake.
Well,
yeah,
they can't
used
all
to.
happen
It's-
every
they can't
year.
That
all,
one
but-
used to.
Yeah.
They could rotate, two out of every 6 years.
Yeah, they're going to happen every year. How about what App has to do next week? They got to go to College Station, Texas. A&M.
Yeah, heavy underdogs, no doubt about it, when they go there. But they in the past they've had some success when they're heavy.
They've had a way of
Underdogs,
of meeting the challenge of being an underdog against a top-tier program.
Last night in college football, Michigan State beat Western Michigan 35-13. Eastern Michigan beat Eastern Kentucky 42-34. The shocker, I don't know how much of a shocker, Old Dominion 20, Virginia Tech 17. Charlotte falls to William and Mary 41-24. Duke shuts out Temple
Shuts out?
30
I know. I
to
saw
nothing.
That. I had to do a double take.
I wonder when the last time was Duke had a shutout.
I wonder. I mean,
That they were on the good end of it.
Yeah, they've been.
Yeah.
New coach. I can't think of the guy's name. Mike Blank. Maybe somebody can help me with that.
Ditka. No.
No, not Ditka. Darn it.
Powell.
Yeah.
Kansas. Now, this is a team that interests me all the time because Kansas is like, without any other way to word it, they always seem like the worst team in D1
Well,
football.
They
You know
did
what?
beat Texas last year. Don't forget
Yeah,
that.
that's why I'm interested, is because they started to be kind of like up and coming, and now last night I know it's Tennessee Tech, but it's 56-10. I mean, there's been a lot of years I've seen Kansas come up on the wrong end of that with Tennessee Tech.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, 56-10 last night they win.
Not only that, last year they led Oklahoma at halftime. They got beat, but
Yeah, but I don't know who their coach is, but it tells me that something's
something good, better is happening there.
for
Lawrence.
for what's definitely a basketball school.
Oh yeah,
They're playing a little football right now as well. I fell asleep during this one as it went off. Before it went off, actually, Indiana 23, Illinois 20.
Indiana wants me. What's that song?
I don't know that
Heard
one.
that one.
I know
Big finish there. Indiana.
She
comes
grew up
back.
in an
she
Indiana
grew up in an
town.
Indiana town. Is what came to my mind.
Or does Fort Wayne ever cross your
The
mind?
score right never.
Colorado last night falls to TCU. TCU 38, Colorado 13. Before we
Kind of a surprise.
is it?
Well, I thought.
Who's the
all
coach at TCU?
Well, they
Isn't it
fired.
somebody we did they?
They fired the legendary Gary Patterson.
Okay,
So I don't know who. the
that's who I
coach
was
is.
trying to think of. Yeah.
They were supposed to be just sort of an also-ran this year in the Big 12, but that's a big win over a Pac-12 team.
One thing I don't like. I like to see Colorado's program be better. I love seeing the Buffalo. That's
I
one of
do
the
too.
greatest traditions. The
It
Buffalo
is.
leading the team out,
Yeah, I've always kind of pulled for them too.
especially when the background is snow covered.
Yeah.
You know,
The snow-covered peaks.
which in Colorado that'll probably be next week.
Yeah.
Sonny Dykes is the
Sonny Dykes.
TCU coach.
Well, he's a good coach.
I saw it. Okay, where'd he come from?
Well, he was at SMU and brought them back.
Yeah, 4 years at SMU.
Brought them back to respectability.
Right.
He's
I
been
agree.
head coach of Louisiana Tech and Cal, and then SMU,
Wow.
and an assistant at a lot of places.
Yeah. Very experienced.
including TCU for 1 year.
Oh, this is interesting. Let me go back. I'm going to go back one. Lenny sent me 2 messages. One of them goes back to the Cummings folks. Donnie Davis followed Chucky Burnett and later went to Georgia Tech, and I do remember him. Lenny says Mike Elko is the new head
Elko.
coach at Duke.
That's right.
And you know what his last job was? How ironic.
Not related to football. I don't know.
Yes, it was very related to football
Well,
and
was it-
related to next week's opponent,
Northwestern.
the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M.
Oh,
That's not their opponent. My bad. That's App's opponent. But
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at Notre Dame.
He was at Texas A&M.
and he left for Texas A&M for just a pay increase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was one-time defensive coordinator.
So
at
did
Notre
Jimbo
Dame.
Fisher,
Yeah,
and he got a pay increase. I'm
he
going to
was
run.
also a Wake Forest defensive coordinator before
Was he?
Notre Dame.
Well, here's
Yeah.
another thing. A former Duke head coach by the name of Ted Roof is now the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's a good defensive coordinator. He was at
Yeah.
Carolina,
Yep.
wasn't he? Wasn't
I
he at
think so.
Carolina
He
at
was
one
at
time?
Carolina.
Or am I wrong about that?
Which one?
Ted Roof.
No,
I may
He
be
was
wrong
around
about
here
that. He was
somewhere.
somewhere, and then he went to Duke as the head coach, and he was fairly successful. It seems like as a head
Yeah.
coach at Duke, but
Well, how about-
he's a defensive
Yeah.
mind. He's really
and Gene
good with on the
Chizik has
defensive
gone back
side.
to Carolina as defensive coordinator.
And you know the only reason I hate that? In college football season, I'll get up on Sunday morning and at 7 or 8 a.m., I can't remember which it is, there's a show comes gives you the SEC roundup, and he was one of the guys on the show. There's 3 or 4 of them, and he was really good. And I'm going to miss that. He was really good at breaking down games, and I thought he was just very intelligent. So he'll help the Carolina program if that's where he's headed back, at whatever capacity.
Ted Roof has coached at Western Carolina,
Oh,
How about that?
my alma mater.
Duke, NC State, and App State.
No, it was State, not Carolina then. So he's been a North Carolina guy, right?
Yeah.
What college did he go to?
Georgia Tech.
Of course.
Naturally.
All those North Carolina schools, and he went to Georgia Tech. I'm going to run down some of the games. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back and get into some other stuff like high school football, which, believe it or not, you're not going to believe this, but next Saturday morning, we're not going to have a whole lot of high school football
No.
to talk about. Next Saturday morning, I'm going to say 50% of the teams in North Carolina might be off next week because it's that break between conference, non-conference, and conference. And
Yeah.
a lot of our area teams
Turning out our Friday night lights.
yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. If it's going to rain, let it. Well, I hate it for the other teams, but let it be next Friday when there's.
Watauga at Burns. Best game in the area next week.
Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best and closest.
Probably where I'll
game.
be.
Trip to Londo.
Probably where I'll be. What's the
Honey Hog.
Honey Hog, Butch. So there you go. A trip to Burns. They'll have a crowd. You know, I mean, it's like I said. If somebody would have scheduled their game because you got to go 20 miles or
Well,
more in every
I
direction
have
to
a
find one.
geographic question. Is that, would we say Fallston or Lawndale
Yep.
for Burns?
It's Lawndale.
Okay.
It's
Closer to Lawndale than
Mhm.
Fallston.
Yep.
Okay.
Lawndale address. I'm pretty
Yeah.
It
sure.
is. Well, even when you see the date line of a game,
Yeah, it's
it
always
says
Lawndale.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can throw a rock and hit Fallston. But
It ain't far.
or evidently the Crest quarterback can throw a football.
Throw a football to
And hit it.
downtown Fallston.
Yeah. Texas A&M, you talked about them earlier. They host Sam Houston today. Michigan, these are at noon. Michigan's at home to take on Colorado State. NC State at East Carolina. Buffalo at Maryland. Boston College at home to take on Rutgers. That's on the ACC network if you're interested. Big battle here. I like this. Richmond at Virginia.
Yeah.
I think that I may be wrong, but I would just expect right off the top of my head. Richmond's a good football program, has been in the past.
That's right.
Had a good basketball run last year, didn't they? Richmond?
Yeah.
I would expect that to be a pretty good game. Navy's at home to take on Delaware. Number 11, Oregon at number 3, Georgia today at 3:30.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And there will be a
game.
lot of familiarity with the Oregon quarterback and the
Yeah.
Georgia defense because it's what's his name?
Dan Lanning. It was the
quarterback. What I want to know, Mike, is the
Oh.
quarterback of Oregon. Bo Nix, is that his name?
Oh, that's
Left
right,
Auburn.
Bo Nix. That's
Yep.
true.
So Georgia's used to seeing him. Am I not right on that? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, not only that,
but I think he's at Oregon.
Dan Lanning, the head coach at Oregon, I believe, was the defensive coordinator of one
At
of the
Georgia?
great defenses of all
Yeah.
time at
Yeah.
Georgia.
How did these? Isn't it weird how that happens?
Yeah.
You know, because these schedules are made,
Years in advance.
3 to 5 years in advance, but it winds up that they're going to face their old defensive coordinator.
So Lanning should know something about Georgia's defensive personnel. Of course, they lost a ton to the NFL.
Mike Sooners open up with a real toughie. UTEP.
UTEP.
Tell me their nickname.
University of Texas. Oh, let me see.
Are they the Roadrunners? Or
Don't think so.
who is that? Is that San Antonio?
Give me a minute.
UTSA?
I'm not sure. Lenny says that Chiswick is the assistant head coach for defense at Carolina. He'll be good.
Are they
He'll be
like
good.
the Miners?
Yes,
Is that
the
it?
Miners.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Have
right.
a pick. The T
Yeah.
in UTEP is a pick.
Yeah.
You know. So yes, they are the Miners. Let's see. It is Cincinnati taking on Arkansas. That may not sound like a lot, but to me, that's a
That's a good
big
matchup.
one of the top
And
matchups.
it goes head to head.
Cincinnati they lost a lot
Yeah.
from their really
Lost their
good
secondary
team last
to the
year.
NFL.
Yeah, and their quarterback.
Well, both teams are ranked in the preseason.
They are.
24.
They are 23 at 19. Yeah, and Arkansas, I can't think of their coach's name. Big heavy
Sam
guy.
Pittman.
That's a perfect name for him, and I love him. I love
Yeah, I do
watching.
too.
I love watching him on the sidelines, and he turned the Arkansas program around overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a team I think now will. I may be wrong. I think they'll just consistently be ranked. I'm not going to say they're going to be in the top 10 a lot.
We're
It's
not
just-
going to win the
it's too
SEC
thick.
West, but yeah, they are.
Well, I wouldn't rule out that. Who else in the? I don't know which division's which. So I
Well,
may.
they're
I
in
may
Alabama's
well,
in their
okay.
division.
Enough said.
LSU.
And Texas A&M, and who else? Ole
LSU.
Miss, LSU, you name it. I'm kidding. Does LSU open? I really want to see how.
They play tomorrow.
Butch says he won't get to make the honey hog on that trip next Friday night because he will be headed to the Horseshoe.
Headed to the Horseshoe.
Going to watch Ohio State next week, and he told me the opponent. It slips my mind.
And the
right now.
0-1 Buckeyes.
Yeah.
I heard 17-point favorite. Is that right?
Yeah.
The
It's
line
Down,
is
down to
17.
Down to
16-5.
Down to
16.
16.
Yeah.
Sam Pittman
Started
Lenny said.
17 and a half, down to 16.
Down to 16.
Well, Notre Dame is good. Ohio State is expected
Offensively
to be great.
supposed to be great,
Yeah.
especially offensively. Now, last year they did give up quite a few points, so we'll see what happens there. But offensively, they do expect to be. I heard David Pollock compare them to LSU's record-breaking offense of 2-3 years ago when they put
very
up.
well could
So,
be.
Yep.
And
if you
CJ
do that,
Stroud.
if you do that, you're going to be hard to beat.
C.J. Stroud.
Funny
and,
thing, they lost their top two receivers.
to the NFL.
They were early picks in the NFL draft. Wilson and Olave,
Yeah,
and they're still loaded.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
Well, at this point, I think they're the one team above the Mason-Dixon line that's able to recruit and get players like the SEC.
Yeah.
So
yep.
get
The only one
yeah.
that I can think
I can't
of.
even. And I'd probably put Michigan and Notre Dame. Michigan before Notre Dame, just because
Notre
of the
Dame
standards.
gets some of the top defensive
But,
players, but
yeah.
they don't get the offensive
Right.
weapons that
Yep.
the southeastern teams
Yeah,
get.
I'd probably have to throw Michigan as the second one,
I was listening to
but
Mel,
they don't get what Ohio State does.
was listening to Mel Kiper on the way up, and he said that Notre Dame is going into this game banged up. They got some injuries.
How do you have injury? Just you didn't
I-
play.
Well, they lost their
It's in the
top
Duke basketball team. Wait a minute.
their top returning receiver for the season.
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Out for the year.
Their best offensive lineman is banged up. I think he's going to play today.
Okay.
Not 100%, but they do have. That's one of Notre Dame's strengths is the offensive line and tight ends.
True.
Yep. Always have a couple in that first round of the draft.
Other than that, I don't really know those two guys. That's all I really.
Well,
Oregon was
a decided underdog last year when they rolled into the Horseshoe, were they not? And beat the Buckeyes decisively.
Yeah. You know what though?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they beat them by 7. I think. I don't think it was a. But
Well,
what was surprising
At
was the
Ohio
way
State, that's decisively.
they
Yeah,
pounded
decisively.
them on the ground.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
right.
what was surprising.
And
Don't forget, there's no Thibodeau at Oregon now either.
he didn't
play in that game
against
you're right.
Ohio
He
State
did not
last
play
year.
in that game. Yeah, and he's already going to miss some time with the Giants because he's got an injury.
Yeah.
But he may be back for the maybe second, third regular season game. It's not a major injury, but I'm anxious to watch him play. He's not. Don't get me wrong. He's not Lawrence Taylor, but he plays kind of like that. He plays
in that
kinda,
mold.
Yeah,
But
he plays kind of like
there
that.
will never be
No,
another
I don't think so either.
LT.
North Carolina at Appalachian State. We got UCLA at home. Wow. I thought I was reading this wrong. You know who's going to UCLA today? Bowling Green.
Oh.
That-
Well,
yeah,
I
that's
love that California
that's a-
sun.
They might not come back.
That is a
Having fun in the California sun.
18-hour flight from Bowling Green.
Who does Trader Lincoln Riley open against at USC?
Well, okay.
I don't think they play today.
They don't? Okay.
BYU.
Unless they're not ranked.
I think they
BYU is at South Florida. Ole Miss at home to take on Troy. Wyoming is at home to take on Tulsa. Tulsa always seems to, at one point during the season, do something that surprises people.
Yeah,
the
Golden Hurricane.
The Golden Hurricanes, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do play. I found them.
Florida Atlantic at Ohio. Utah at Florida.
Well.
Number
that's huge.
7,
When is
Utah.
that?
Yeah,
that is a
that's,
big game.
when's
Utah
that
at
game?
7 o'clock tonight on ESPN.
That is big.
Utah,
Everybody-
Florida.
Florida's not expected to be very good.
Well, isn't Utah being
Not ranked.
Isn't Utah being talked about as a possible,
Yeah.
playoff team?
Well,
Yep.
they are number.
They're 7th
they're
right
ranked
now.
7th,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They could easily work their way into the top 4.
No doubt.
Yep. Put 45 points on Ohio State last year,
That was a
but
great-
gave up 48.
great
That was
Rose
the
Bowl
problem. Here's three games in a row featuring blowouts. Let's just put it that way, because it's ranked teams against not ranked teams. Albany at Baylor, Illinois State at Wisconsin, and Miami of Ohio at Kentucky. I guess that could be the best matchup, but Kentucky, I think Kentucky's going to have a pretty good year. They finished second in the division last year, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Auburn's at home against Mercer. Vanderbilt is at home against Elon.
Well, Vandy's already. What was the score in their game against Hawaii? The Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, it was
Blew 'em
bad.
out,
They
didn't it?
scored 60-something.
What, didn't Hawaii win?
No.
No, Vandy won.
Vanderbilt
I can't even
won.
remember.
63-10.
I watched a little bit of it. Wow. Notre Dame is at Ohio State. ABC tonight at 7:30. There'll be a lot of eyes on that one. And let's see, Louisville goes to Syracuse. Conference game to start the season.
Game.
Yeah, right off the bat there. SMU at North Texas. You guys mentioned SMU a little earlier. We talked about the trips and Bowling Green going to California. Maine is going to New Mexico.
Now that's a what? 2,000 miles.
How did that
2,500?
get scheduled? Maine going to New Mexico.
At New Mexico.
Yep. Walter White will be on the sideline for that one. Idaho at Washington State. Boise State at Oregon State. And if you're up tonight at midnight, you can watch Hawaii taking on Western Kentucky. Don't forget Monday night, LSU and Florida State. I did not even know that.
Yeah, I forgot about
LSU,
that.
Florida State. That's a good way to kick off the season. That is Sunday night.
Sunday.
Sunday
Game
night.
Sunday and Monday.
Monday night, Clemson and Georgia Tech. Not so much. One-sided.
Yeah,
Clemson at Georgia Tech. It says at Georgia Tech, so I'm guessing it's not in the it is. It's in the Mercedes-Benz the Falcons Stadium. And, of course, the Superdome in New Orleans will host the LSU Florida. You know that place will be rocking on a Sunday night with all them people having Monday off. The Bayou Bengals will take their crowd over to New Orleans, and it'll be saucy. To say Bourbon Street will be hopping, I'm sure. That's a rundown of what's coming up in college football. We got to take a timeout.
Yeah.
We got to take a timeout.
8:45. We probably need.
So here you go. You got 2 stations on your radio. You're driving down the road. Are you listening to Night Moves or I Won't Back Down? Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. David Keever, Mike Powell, Brett Keever in the studio talking sports this morning and music. A little bit of music, by the way, in our song choice this morning. And I didn't give my email out. If you want to weigh in and don't have any way to get in touch with us, KeeverDavid@yahoo.com. I can't guarantee on my phone. It's been so wacky lately. I need to go get one, and I just dread that 2 to 3 hour wait when you have to go get a new phone that you stand there and stand there and stand. Why can't they do... I would say, why can't they do it and just call you whenever it's finished? But I guess that's impossible.
Like transferring the data.
Yeah. They can't call you when it's finished, right? But you could leave for a couple hours and go back, right? Yep. But then it's like they'll be transferring all your stuff to your new phone, and maybe every 20 to 30 minutes they'll say, "What's your password for this?" And you have to put your password in for that. So I guess you can't leave. When's the last time you went through this, Brett? The phone.
It's been a few years.
And how long did it take?
A few hours.
Yeah, Mike.
Now Becca just orders hers online.
How's that work?
I don't.
You can do it online.
She does it with Verizon. I don't know if it's easier with Verizon.
How does it transfer
AT&T.
your stuff? How does it?
It does.
How does it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they should have access to everything you got anyway. Anybody, you know what I mean? Anybody can get in anything. It seems like.
Yeah.
I got some votes here. And I'll start with the way they came in as far as I Won't Back Down and Night Moves. Now, in here, I know Brett has already told me Night Moves. And he's a big Tom Petty fan, and I am too.
Me.
I have met Bob Seger.
Oh.
Okay. When I worked for the airlines years ago, I met Bob Seger. I've never seen him in concert, and I regret that. I would love to chance to get to see him in concert. I think Butch told me. I think Butch went to see him when he was in Charlotte a couple years ago. But Brett and I have seen Tom Petty in concert, and it was terrific. Mm-hmm. I mean, what I try to do when I do these songs is come up with two in my head that I can't pick. I can't, you know what I mean? That I just can't choose because I like them that much and that close. But Brett has said Night Moves. Mike has not said
Night Moves.
Night
the
Moves.
Lyrics alone.
Yeah.
Out past the cornfields where the woods got heavy, out in the backseat of my '60 Chevy. You can't beat that.
Well, I only know one line. It's way up firm and high.
Yeah, that's the one that sticks too.
I always say
like the
it's the only
end,
song.
Towards the end, strange how the night moves with autumn
Autumn
closing in.
That's great lyrics, is it not?
Great.
I mean, it is great.
He's reflecting on his youth, and now he's in middle age or older. And
you remember when you could buy 8 tracks, Mike, and they weren't just you could buy them and they had like an assortment of songs on it from various artists. The first 8 track I ever bought, the first 8 track I ever bought in a store had that Night Moves on it.
Did it?
It did. It had Night Moves on it. But both of you guys said Night Moves. Obviously, I don't have to vote because I'm the one that came out, and that's the whole key. I want to pick something that I can't vote on because it's split that even. Lenny says Night Moves.
Yep.
Roger says I Won't Back Down without a doubt. He added lyrics to it. No, I'm just kidding. Jason says I Won't Back Down.
Okay.
And Rodney Willis says Night Moves.
Okay, so Night Moves.
Rodney says great song, one of Bob's greatest works.
It is. It may be his best song.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Well, and it was one of his first. It probably was his first hit, right?
Not sure.
I know it was one of his early ones, but the part that really gets me is Rodney says Walter White is an egomaniac.
Wow.
Mike, I hope you know who Walter White is. I don't know where you stand now, but
Walter White.
Okay, Brett. He has lied us for months. He has told us a flat out lie.
What? Walter
for
White.
months. He is lying, because he said all along, "Yeah, I'm watching Breaking Bad," but today
Walter White,
he don't
of
even know.
course,
He doesn't even know who Walter White is.
Oh, now I do. Yeah.
How many episodes have you watched?
Quite a few.
That's
still working on.
Is that a number?
Not
Brad?
Night Moves.
Quite a few.
Season 1.
I mean, that can be 3 or that could be 33. I don't know how many episodes.
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Yeah.
I know.
I'm surprised you didn't get hooked and be and be.
Well, it's it's a bucket list. I'm going to do it.
I don't need to be a bucket list thing. You just need to watch it. You know, where you got to be in the morning. where do you have to be on Monday morning or Tuesday morning?
Living at the YMCA.
Are you? Yeah. Yeah. You need to. You know, Breaking Bad's worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be. And what is it? Just 60-some episodes, Brett? I think I heard the other day 60-some. It's not. You know. Watch one a day. You got it knocked out in 2 months.
2 months.
Yep. But I
can have it knocked out before autumn sets in.
Yeah, you can. I'm one that, I kind of want to, if I sit down, our episode, no commercials, if you run through those, you can watch it in 40 to 45 minutes. So I'm going to usually watch more than one episode when I sit down to watch one of these really good series. And I need one right now. There is something on, I think it's Netflix. Oh, no, not Netflix. What's the one that we have, Brett, that we look down there? And I don't think it's Netflix. Maybe it is. But it's the Hillside Strangler. There's a documentary on the Hillside Strangler right now that's
that
out there.
Interests me.
Yeah, it looks really good. The true stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Butch did go see him play. Said he saw him 2 years ago in Greenville, as well as in Charlotte. And he says, "Hey, Mike, Seeger ain't middle age. He's old like us."
Yeah, he's old.
And then Butch votes.
But when the song came out, he was trending. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I would say, is he 80? Maybe closing in on 80. He's probably closing in on 80.
Closing in. I just caught the closing in part. Is all I heard there. But I don't know.
He was one of the early rockers. Yeah, 60s maybe. I don't know.
Any big news this week in Major League Baseball?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, we're past the trade. We're past that fictional trade deadline, and it seems like everything really in Major League Baseball has been just status quo over the last couple of weeks. I mean, the rich are getting richer and they keep winning, and the poor are getting poorer and they keep losing, and we still have about 10 to 15 teams that are just on the schedules to give teams places to go play, and I hate that. I hate that about baseball.
Yeah, the American League wild card race is about one of the few interesting things, right?
The American League, the American League wild card race is interesting.
Well, I mean, you got some teams there, right? I mean,
well, I would guess.
A lot of teams.
Tampa leads the way.
Yeah.
73 and 57, along with Seattle. Toronto, 2 games behind those. Baltimore right in there at 1.5.
I'm so pulling for the Birds of Baltimore.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Yeah, so if at the end of the day Toronto's in, Baltimore's a game and a half out.
Yeah.
How about that?
Minnesota 4 out after they led their division for a while.
Yeah. White Sox 6, Red Sox 7.5. Red Sox are still 3 games below 500. They don't need to go anywhere. As a matter of fact, I do not want them to make the playoffs. I want them to purchase some players. Texas, L.A., Kansas City, Detroit, Oakland. Oakland's 23.5 out of the wild card, much less the division race. The National League wild card also is basically 4 teams fighting for 3 spots.
The only team's got a chance.
Yep. 4 teams fighting for 3 spots. A couple things real quick. Butch says Bob Seeger is 77.
Okay.
We got that one. Jason says, if you're watching Breaking Bad, you also have to watch Better Call Saul and the movie El Camino. Jason, I already got them all in. I already finished the whole series of Better Call Saul, and I watched the movie as well. So,
El Camino, is that available via streaming?
What's not available by streaming?
Yeah, but you don't need to watch it until you've seen
everything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just a kind of a movie at the end. Lenny says not the Honey Hog anymore over there in Boston. It is the name has changed to Johnny Ray's Smokehouse.
Okay.
But it's run by most of the same people. So somebody got dumped. It sounds like. Speaking of Major League Baseball, this comes from Rodney. Ohtani became the first ever player with 10 pitching wins and 30 home runs in the same season. And Lenny says Tampa Bay is only 5 games out from the Yankees now after defeating them last night. The Yankees one time had, what, a 12?
by the way.
Was it really? Had a 12-game lead or so in that division, maybe even more than that.
4 games in the loss column.
Wow. Wouldn't
That's
that be?
what happens when the Yankees go 5-5 and the Rays had an 8-2 week.
Well, there's a lot of home run or bust.
Yeah.
You know, and they're struggling. Let me say this. Brett saw this because I forced it on him, I think. I've talked to some other guys. I saw the best entrance in sports I've ever seen in my life this week. And you know, when I'm talking about Don Revels says night moves, by the way.
All right.
But when I'm talking about entrances, you remember Mariano Rivera used to come into Sandman all the time, and boxers are known and wrestlers are known, you know, for their grand entrance and all that kind of stuff. But the other night,
Trevor Hoffman with the Padres for years came into Hell's Bells.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's good taste.
yeah, and a lot. You know, in baseball, it's pretty much always going to be that closer. And nobody else is going to get that kind of intro.
Right.
It's about your closer.
Yeah, the
And you
batters
make it a
have
grand
music when they
entrance.
come
have
up,
play-
but that's
right.
3 or 4 times a game. It's a lot different.
And it's only about 8 seconds of music. But the closer,
And they're
he's
just
gonna
coming
get
from the
it.
on-deck circle to the batter's
Right.
box.
That's right.
The closer's coming in from the outfield wall most of
Yeah,
the
it's
time.
a grand entrance.
But every time Edwin Diaz enters for the Mets, okay, if you watch the Mets and the Dodgers on the MLB Network, it was the ultimate game because I know, Brett, your Dodgers lost 2-1, but you have Bob Costas, okay, who's one of my favorites, doing the baseball game. And then the Mets always play this tune with the trumpet, Timmy Trumpet's tune on the speakers when Diaz enters the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what made this special? Timmy Trumpet was there.
Yeah.
You know that?
I saw that.
Did you see? Is that not the best intro ever?
It was.
Diaz comes into the mound. It sounds like you're getting ready to watch a bullfight. That's the kind of music that they're playing, you know. But I mean, it was unbelievable, and I've never seen the crowd so into
Yeah.
the introduction. You know,
It was really electric.
It was.
I mean, it was great.
I mean, they were. If you had the little toy trumpets that were handed out to a lot of the people in the stands and the Met mascots, they had the little toy trumpets. Every other fan that didn't have one of those was videoing.
Yeah.
I did not see one person in there that wasn't doing something, and most of them were videoing what was going on. But Timmy Trumpet was present, and he had tweeted out during the day, you know, from Citi Field. And if you didn't see that, you can go on Twitter and look at just search Timmy Trumpet, and you can watch that intro, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
I mean that amazing Mets, by the way.
And another
no
cool
pun
thing
intended.
is it's got to get to the point in the game where Edwin Diaz is coming in, to close the game out.
Well, if he's going to stay another day,
or Timmy Trumpet doesn't even get to play.
And you know what? I showed this to a couple friends of mine the other night, Brent Turner and Brent Gates. You know, the Brents.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved it. And they said, they're sitting there and there's like, it's stuck in my head. I hear the, you know, the trumpet's still playing. You know, it's been 30 minutes since I listened. I said, it's been in my head all day. Mm-hmm. You know, the trumpet. I mean, it's amazing what that live music, though, does for that introduction. You know, I think that's what added to it. Just playing the music's one thing, but the live.
And wasn't that the first time that he's been there to do it?
As far as I know.
Live?
You know, I think, but it was just by chance for me that I happened to be on that channel. Because usually we have the baseball package, so I'm flipping, you know, I'm just watching it on there.
Yeah.
But I turned to 213 just to see who they were carrying, and then 10 minutes into that I get to see this, and I'm so glad I watched it. You need to search Timmy Trumpet on Twitter, and you can see most of it. But it is one of the most, like Brett said, it was electric.
And Edwin Diaz has been one of the best closers in baseball this year, which, you know,
to have, you know,
adds to it.
Some people will hate this. Some people's going to hate this when I say it because it's just the way things are. But when you have a New York crowd, and they're into something, it's different.
Yeah, it is.
It's different.
The New York state of mind. Yeah.
And they had made that whole game feel like a NLCS
Yeah.
Game 7 with Bob Costas. And,
Yeah, you're right.
It was an intense game. DeGrom pitched. It was
I love
a
Dave
2-1
Roberts' reaction
game.
when they showed Dave Roberts and all that was going on. He just looked like he was enjoying it, and just a big smile on his face,
Mm-hmm.
But that you need to watch that, especially if you're. I don't even think you have to be a baseball fan to watch that and appreciate it. But if you are, have you seen that, Lenny? You need to find a way to watch that. Go on. I don't know if Lenny's got Twitter, but I know he's got.
Well, I think
internet.
MLB tweeted it.
You can find it
if you just go to MLB's Twitter feed.
You can find. I'm sure you can find it. YouTube's bound to have it. YouTube is.
I just pulled it up.
Yeah, Mike's playing it for us.
Playing it for
I can
you.
hear it in my headset.
Narco.
Yeah, turn it down so you can watch it. You need to watch that at breakfast.
Yeah,
yeah,
I will.
and play it wide open in the restaurant. Everybody, will be up playing their fake trumpets. Do you realize?
You play it when you enter the restaurant and head toward the breakfast table.
I'm gonna play it for Butch as he heads to the buffet.
Who was the controversial?
Butch, if you didn't see that, you need to watch.
Who was the controversial closer?
John Rocker.
Yeah, that's all I had to say.
Mets, yeah.
Did he have an entry song? Entrance song? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Highway to
his was,
Hell.
Highway to
I
Hell.
don't know.
Was it I Want to Rock?
Born to Lose.
Well, now that would be good. What Brett said, I want to rock because
That
he's
would-
rocker.
That's right. It would be a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Rock.
And you said Mets. It was.
That was his hated team.
Yeah.
They hated him.
Well, he was with
hated
Atlanta.
them.
He
Yeah.
made controversial
He was with
comments
Atlanta. He did.
about
That's
New
right.
York City.
Riding the subway and
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. He
John
didn't.
Rocker.
He didn't care what he said, so they let him.
But he
have
was
it.
not a great closer, but
No.
he said a lot of things and had a lot of personality.
He did.
And he was well known for it.
Honestly, we were talking about the New York crowds a minute ago. The Knicks need to be good because that crowd's great.
Yeah.
They're great when they're 1-90. Giant Stadium is also very electric when they're good. I mean, some of the greatest memories I have watching NFL football is Summerall and Madden in Giant Stadium. You know what I mean? I mean, those are just classics. But and Yankee Stadium is. I'm not a Yankee fan, but that stadium's electric most of the time. But I think the Mets may have, that pulled something off here the other night. That intro is going to be hard to beat with that guy there playing that music live and that crowd into it like that. Lenny says Jordan Montgomery has won more games as a Cardinal than the entire Yankee starting staff since the trade. Montgomery is 5-0. Now, they traded him. This is a kid that pitched for Sumter in the World Series in Shelby a few years back, Jordan Montgomery. Mm-hmm. And now he's a Cardinal, and he's 5-0 with the Cardinals. And I'm going to tell you right now, and Butch will tell you too, you better watch out for the Cardinals come playoff time.
Yeah.
They're getting better and better and better. Yankee starters are 4-12 in that same time frame. That's amazing, isn't it? The Yankee starters are 4-12, and the one they traded away is 5-0. Sometimes you just need to change the scenery. Montgomery, I know he wasn't, pitching great in pinstripes, but seems to have turned it around.
Speaking of
in St. Louis.
pinstripes, how does anybody think that Judge is going to pass Roger Maris's 61 homers in
How many's he
Yankee
got?
uniform? He had 51. Is he still holding on 51?
He might have hit 52.
What?
I don't think he hits
Okay,
10
Roger
more.
Maris was a Yankee. Is that what you're going
That's
with?
what I'm
because
saying,
he's
man.
not the leader.
No,
Oh,
he's
no,
trying to
no,
break
no. I'm
the-
saying
the
on
Yankee home run
uniform.
The
record.
Yankee record.
That's
Yeah,
all
he'll
I'm
break
saying.
it. He'll break it.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know how many games.
I don't know. What? 35? How many games left?
Around 30.
Think he hits 10 or 11 more?
I hope they play Boston the last weekend, and he's within one of breaking, and they walk him every time the whole weekend. Walk him or hit him.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Every time. Don't
well,
get-
it's a Yankee record, so is it really that
yeah, but it's not current.
meaningful? I mean, if I could see if he was chasing Barry Bonds'
well,
record.
I think it's meaningful.
Well, to a lot of Yankee fans, they probably don't want that broke.
Yeah.
I
Roger
mean,
Maris.
Old timers would probably say, "No, I want Maris to keep that record."
Well,
I don't know.
In that case, just lob it right down the middle.
Now, how many did Ruth have in his best year with the Yankees?
Less than 61.
Yeah, that's all I can tell you.
50 something. I don't know.
I don't know either.
remember.
I don't know what
I
his
think it was 54.
longevity and consistency was Ruth's strength. I mean, he didn't have the 60 the year he hit 61, but he hit a lot of home runs in a lot of years. So
Yep.
that's That's why he got to where he is. I'm going to go through some of the scoreboard here before we take our next time out. I know it's time for it, but I'm just going to go through a little bit of the scoreboard here to prove to you that we are headed toward high school football. New Hanover last night and Butler. I don't know where these two teams played. A long ride for somebody. I know Butler's listed on the bottom, but I don't know if that necessarily means they played at Butler or if they I didn't see any highlights, obviously. But do you know where it was? Either one of you guys know where it was? New Hanover beat Butler 29-28 last night. It was a fantastic football game, it sounds like. I got no comments from them.
I don't know where they played.
Mount Tabor beat Greensboro Page. Now, you'll recall last week Page beat Reidsville, and now Mount Tabor, by 2 touchdowns, beats Greensboro Page last night. Who was it Mount Tabor beat early?
Was that Richmond?
Yeah, it might have been.
They beat pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
They beat Greensboro Page last night 29-14. It was South Johnston 23, Southern Lee 17, Olympic over Hopewell 41-0, Pine Lake Prep 21, Bessemer City 0. Cape Fear, Mike Powell over Terry Sanford.
Hey, Max Cady is smiling.
32-28 for Cape Fear. Western Alamance over Eastern Guilford 28-26. West Meck over Ashbrook 14-9. Smoky Mountain falls to T.C. Roberson. T.C. Roberson 21, Smoky Mountain 12. Winston-Salem Prep, yes, they have football now, 26-20 over Parkland. Christ the King over Lake Norman Charter 14-0. Providence over Parkwood. That has nothing to do with Providence Day. I'm sure we'll get to that score later because I think I had a classic last night, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Providence over Parkwood last night, 64-42. 106 points scored in that football game. Inca defeated Rosman 45-6. Tuscola over Irwin 33-12. Central Cabarrus over Hunter Huss 32-27. Now Huss has been very competitive in their last 2 outings, but they didn't get the win. Right, yeah. They're 0-3. They lost to High Brighton last week in a close one.
Mm-hmm.
And now they lose to Central.
It's an odd matchup. I wonder if it's the first time those two schools have ever met.
Good. I don't know. I can't answer that for sure, but I promise you this: I don't ever remember them playing before. Burlington Williams over Southern Alamance 37-20. Clinton over E.E. Smith 54-28. Cleveland over D.H. Conley out of Greenville 34-23. East Duplin 55. Richlands nothing. A couple coastal scores here. Topsail 43. Dixon nothing. Washington County 27. First Flight 12. Forest Hills over Union Academy 52-7. East Meck falls to South Meck. South Meck 53-0 over East Meck. And I don't recall the East Meck scores up to this point, but I'm a little surprised just by looking at that 53-0 surprises me a little bit in that matchup. Number 2 in the state, Julius Chambers 40-0 over Kernersville Glen. Bunn defeats J.F. Webb 49-0. Ardrey Cale, ranked number 11th in North Carolina, 45-10 over Marvin Ridge. Wake Forest 17, Hoggard 7. A couple more and we'll do that timeout. Anson over Piedmont 26-6. Monroe over Concord 54-10. Monroe, seemed to be one of the top 2A teams. I think they're 3-0 on the early season. And a couple wins over teams in higher classifications than them as well. West Carteret over Farmville Central 24-7. And as we go to break, we'll give it to you one more time. If you haven't weighed in, tell us which song it is for you this week. If you only get to listen to one driving down the road, is it going to be Night Moves or I Won't Back Down? We'll be back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
I love it. David Avery just sends me a cover of the great Tom Petty song, I Won't Back Down, or Mason Avery. He put Mason's name on there, so it might be coming from Mason. Great actor, great cowboy actor. Who's singing that?
Great cowboy actor?
Great cowboy actor.
Gotta be Sam Elliott.
Bingo.
Gotcha.
How about that?
That deep
And
registered
one of you
voice.
guys guessed Johnny Cash, and it did have a little bit of.
Yeah.
Well, that's who I thought in the beginning. And
There's a whole video and everything of that
right.
of that
the great Sam Elliott
cover. So I'm guessing since David put Mason's name above that come from Mason.
Thought maybe he
this
was
morning,
singing it.
but well, maybe so. Let's see here. Lenny says Judge joins Ruth and Mantle as the only Yankee to have multiple 50-plus home run seasons. So, well, okay. So he become how many organizations have 3? You know what I mean? In their history. I mean, not too many organizations are going to have.
Well, he didn't say Roger Maris. Wait, multiple.
Yeah.
So Maris only did it once, and he got to 61.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so. Yeah. Yeah, he did say multiple 50-plus home runs.
Johnny Cash does have a version of I Won't.
Does he
Back Down.
really?
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah. I bet he sounds just like Sam Elliott. Yeah, I like stuff like that. We've talked about this before in the past, but the guys that look like they're in the mines of West Virginia or in Kentucky somewhere like that, and they're playing Thunderstruck on a wash tub, and what else have they got out there that they're playing it on? That's impressive right there. That's
I like seeing
creative.
stuff on like an electric accordion and stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen those guys set up like in
Cajun
parking
music,
lots,
playing some Cajun type
music.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. That's hard to beat. It really is. But I love the feedback this morning, and thank you to the Averys.
Yeah.
There for that. That's
Nice.
very interesting. And I will watch. When I get out of here and get home, when we're off, I will watch this entire video and probably wear it out. Maris only did it once in 61, and it was 61. So
that's right, 61 and 61.
Good thing he didn't play in 1999.
You know how many homers Mickey Mantle had that same year?
60.
No, I think it was 54 or 56.
Was it?
It was a race.
Yeah, I knew they were erased. That's why I was thinking it might have been 60, but so it looks like
it was 54.
Maris pulled away at the end,
he
right?
He did.
Yeah. I know this is a stupid question. Maris is in the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Well, he should be if he's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I just remember. You know what? Growing up, where I remember Roger Maris? St. Louis Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
When I was very young. I mean, that's his later days. He was a St. Louis
Late
Cardinal.
career.
Am I not right on that, Lenny? That he was a Cardinal. 54, he says for Mantle. So
yep, I was right.
You're right on that.
This doesn't list him as a Hall of Famer.
Does it not?
What?
7-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champion, 2 times AL MVP.
How do you not be a Hall of Famer if that's your resume? Surely he is.
1 Gold Glove, 1 home run. Led the league in home runs. 2-time American League RBI leader. Retired number by the Yankees.
Well, they got everybody's number retired.
Hall of Fame.
They ran out.
To date, Maris has not been elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
What a try!
I think I remember seeing something like that 20 years ago on TV that with his family. That
he was considered
maybe when he passed away or
from
something.
74 to 88. And I guess after 88, that was it.
Now
I can promise you, there's players in there with lesser resumes.
Well, the 61 homers in and of itself.
Well, that don't get you in. That's one. To me, that don't get you in. Okay, just that.
7-time All-Star and 2-time AL MVP.
And
if you win multiple MVPs,
3 World Series rings, got to be in. What is wrong?
I think a 2-time MVP should get you in.
Oh,
career batting average 260, 275 career home runs.
Lenny said he did finish as a Cardinal. 275 home runs. That's not overwhelming.
No.
But still, the other stuff. I mean, there's enough there.
The 2-time league MVP is.
Yeah.
Wasn't Maris considered like the unwanted stepchild on that? By the media or whatever.
Yeah,
or
because nobody wanted him to break the hallowed Ruth's record.
Yeah, I guess that's what.
That's right. Yeah, that was a very difficult season for him.
Yeah. Well, baseball people need to get that right. I mean,
he only
he needs
played
to be in the Hall of Fame.
12 years total.
Yeah.
2 with the Indians, 2 with the Kansas City
12 years.
Athletics.
12 years is plenty, though.
Yeah.
7 years with the Yankees and 2 years with the Cardinals.
That's funny that I remember him with the Cardinals, but I remember listening to games and Roger Maris with the Cardinals. Don't know. All right, moving on our scoreboard. We got to get with it here. It was Richmond County. I don't know what's going on in Richmond County, but there's probably a lot of folks uneasy right now. Cardinal Gibbons last night, 31-0 over Richmond. Is Richmond 0-3, Brett? Do we know if Richmond County is?
Seems like it.
We know they've lost 2, but it seems to me like they might be 0-3 to start the season.
Yeah, they've been outscored 116-14.
If you can tell us the last year that Richmond and Shelby were a combined 0-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost 45-7 to Mount Tabor, 40-7 to Butler, and now 31-0.
They've scored 14 points in 3 games and gave up in the 40s all 3.
Well, last night was 31.
31.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
116 to
31. I'm looking at
14 total.
Wow.
Somewhere Ken Kinley is
What
not
is-
smiling.
I mean, that a lot of things do make sense in this world. That doesn't. I
Yeah.
don't
Another
understand.
surprising one, Scotland County is 1-2.
Yeah. That may be a big rivalry game this year for other reasons.
That's the last game of the season.
So you can get those.
I'll be battling for a playoff spot.
Independence beat West Charlotte 28-7. Butch says baseball writers are freaks. They are the only voters. Yeah, I know. And don't just think some things need to be fixed.
But if there was ever an injustice, Roger Maris not in debate.
and there's probably others. He's not the only one.
No.
We could probably name others if we went
Barry
through.
Bonds.
We'd be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Barry
no
Bonds.
doubt about that.
Of course.
I mean, no doubt about that, but for different reasons. Did I say Independence beat West Charlotte 28-7? Weddington over West Forsyth that has no score here. Newbern 53, West Craven 0. Leesville Road defeats Wallace Rosehill 31-21. Leesville Road ranked number 10 in the state of North Carolina, and that's all the classes combined when I give you those rankings.
Yeah, tough. I mean, that's Wallace Rosehill not doing themselves any favors with the schedule.
No, they've played the schedule.
Powerful 4A team.
Yeah, they have played the schedule. Carver defeated Highland Tech 42-0. Berry Academy over Garinger 36-6. Wilson Prep 42, Warren County 14. Here, I got to give Mike's score here. Beargrass Charter 28.
That's my second new favorite team,
Spring
Beargrass Charter.
6, and they play in Beargrass, North Carolina, right? Did
Where
we
is
find
that?
out?
I got to.
Washington over South Central 12-7. West Brunswick falls to North Myrtle Beach 42-26.
North Myrtle.
Kinston 38, Aidan Grifton 14. Northwest Cabarrus shuts out North Lincoln last night 14-0. North Lincoln now staring at 3-0.
0-3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
0-3,
game last
sorry,
year
thank
was
you.
50. It was like 54-44.
Yeah.
And
Last
and
night
this
14
year,
points.
14-0.
Yep. No, North Lincoln off to an 0-3 start.
Did I hear they have a great JV team?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I do know the running back on there looks to be pretty good. Oak Grove 21, Ragsdale 20. North Meck over Harding 46-6. Whiteville over East Bladen 43-13. This one was on TV last night on Channel 18. If you didn't know, after football Friday nights, 3 minutes, so you could flip to 18 and watch Hickory Ridge and Porter Ridge 37-14 last night. Hickory Ridge comes out on top. It was Chapel Hill over Northwood 55-35. Laney 56, Lumberton 0. Sanderson over Triton 56-55. Hit a 2-point layup at the end at the buzzer to get the basketball wins.
Mm-hmm.
What it sounds like, right? 56-55 in that one. North Brunswick 49, Swansboro 23. I'm guessing Swansboro is the Pirates because that logo I look at over there is one of my favorites on this scoreboard. Bishop McGinnis 27, Graham 12. Hertford County over Bertie 48-8. Charlotte Catholic falls to Providence Day. Providence Day. If you watch highlights of this last night, you were looking at some future Division I college players. Providence
I'd
Day.
say that's the best team in Charlotte
Would
right
you?
now.
Charlotte, yeah.
Providence Day. I mean, they don't play in the NCHSAA, but
Just squeaked out a win, too, over Catholic. 21-20.
And they just beat Weddington last week.
Yeah, well, that's
I think they beat them by about 3 touchdowns.
That's a good start on being the best team in the state. Reagan defeated Myers Park 17-14. Bunker Hill over North Iredale 27-20. South Point rolled over RS Central 42-14. The Red Raiders 3-0, right?
Yep.
On the young season. South Iredale over West Iredale by a score of 43-6. Southwest Guilford 49, High Point Central 6. Millbrook over Garner 48-7. Eastern Alamance over Northern Guilford 41-35. Hayesville over North Georgia. When I hear North Georgia, I think college, you know. But Hayesville over North Georgia. And for those of you that wonder, you can throw a rock from Hayesville and it'll land. Well, most of you can throw a rock from, and it'll land in Georgia. It's not that far to the Georgia
Dave, you
line.
skipped over
Hayesville.
one of your pick'ems from last night. High Brighton, West Caldwell. Did you give that one?
You know why I skipped over it?
Why?
Because I picked West Caldwell. I
knew that.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. I didn't.
Well, it's on my Max Preps feed. So
Okay, go ahead and give the score.
High Brighton 60.
Freudian
West
slip there,
Caldwell
Mike.
14.
Yeah, well, it may be on that. I don't know. You'd think the Max Preps look the same on it for all of us.
No, but
Well, on a phone, it's very different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Whack-A-Mole beat Ashley 43 to nothing last night. McDowell over East Rutherford 26-0. East Burke rivalry game overdrone 28-27.
It's been a good one.
Hampton beat Avery County 36-27. Here it is. I've got it now, Mike.
Okay.
I will give it. I will give it.
Okay.
And
I give you your props. You
yes.
just didn't see it. Hadn't come up on your feed yet.
High Brighton 60, West Caldwell 14. That is so odd. And you are on Max Preps, right? And not on Score
on
Stream.
Max
That's
Preps.
odd that shows you different format.
Yeah.
East Wilkes 43, North Wilkes 7. East Lincoln over Lincoln last night 27-0. 2 Lincoln County teams shut out last night on the scoreboard. AC Reynolds, listen, watch out come playoff time. This team's going to make a run for a state championship. They've beaten Shelby badly. They've beaten Alexander Central, who was 2-0, 49-7 last night. And what was their first win of the season, Brett? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
West Forsyth.
Yeah.
37-0.
Yeah. This team looks to be very good. And I'm not even sure. Are they 4A right now or are they 3A?
I think they're 4A.
If they're 3A, you better look out.
Yeah.
4A might be a little tougher on them. But if they're 3A, this team is, how many state championships have they won in the history? You know, they 5, 6. I mean, they used to,
they
used to rack
4A.
them up. Are they?
Yeah.
It'll be tough whenever they start facing some of the Charlotte
schools.
teams. But, man, they are they look to be a
And the East Forsyth
solid.
and
East Forsyth. That's the like we talk about every week. That's the team that
Mount
goes
Tabor
unnoticed.
4A or 3A.
Yes.
It's another one that could factor in.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. They're looking good too. North Forsyth beat Lexington 35-13. And if you've never been to AC Reynolds, by the way, got to throw this in there too. Beautiful place to watch a game.
Oh, it is.
Beautiful place to watch a football game. It was McMichael over South Stokes 21-20. Same score, West Stanley over Mount Pleasant 21-20. Mount Airy over Surrey Central 54-6. And Marlboro, South Carolina. One of their logos, the Marlboro Man. You know, wouldn't that be great?
They just be the
coughing.
men, the Marlboro men.
The Marlboro Men. That'd be a great mascot, the men. 27-24.
I don't know what the girls' teams do.
Yeah, women. The Marlboro women. 27-24
Lady men.
for Marlboro County in that one. Pine Forest beats Fayetteville Bird 49-0. Southview falls to Hoke County in a high-scoring game, 50-44. We got that same theme again, Mike. A lot of high-scoring, close games. Franklin defeats Swain County 13-10. You know, you read those scores in there. 1A. I bet if you went to that game last night, Franklin and Swain, it's probably 3,000 people there. You know, I mean, that's what they do on Friday nights.
On my feed, Swain County won 13-10.
I said it backwards then.
Okay.
Yep, Swain 13. Thank you, Mike. Swain. I told you it's a different format.
Yeah.
Swain 13. It's got different winners. 13-10. The Maroon Devils.
Maroon. I love that name.
That is
I've
great.
always loved
That
it.
is great. They win over Franklin. They got a pile. I think
Yeah,
they're
the
the
Panthers.
Panthers.
I think it's
That's what
Panthers.
came to my mind. The Panthers.
Oh, we seen them at, what was it, East Lincoln? They
Yep,
came one
East
time.
Lincoln.
Yeah, that's right.
Came down the
they
mountain.
did. They sure did. South, and don't get that confused with Franklin County, because Franklin County is in eastern.
Yeah.
And a
North
Franklin ton.
Yeah, there is a Franklin ton as well. Lee County over South Granville, 34-28. Shelby comes from a 23-point deficit.
Crest.
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 Now, this one it's got wrong on my
Me
scoreboard.
too.
Yeah, it does.
too.
Crest came from a 23-point deficit to beat Shelby, 54-49, and that game ended at about 11 o'clock last night.
Yep.
And somebody was very happy taking away half of that $195,000 half and half. And yes, you heard me right. The half and half at Shelby Crest last night was $195,000. Don't you know the person selling tickets last night had 85 arms? I'm just kidding. They didn't sell them all last night. They sold it for a few weeks. But that's a good way to raise
You probably
money.
need security
for your
guards to
program.
take him to the parking lot.
Oh, the security guards might rob you. You got 90-some grand in your pocket.
Yeah.
Cox Mill over Sun Valley, 24-23. Starmount shuts out Forbush, 59-0. Dudley goes down.
Ooh.
Second year in a row that Hillside has beat Dudley. As their only loss last year, though, and he went on to win the state title. 15-8, Durham Hillside beats Dudley. As long as my
I heard
scoreboard people
that
have this one
game
right.
was stopped because of a fight
Yeah.
and possible shooting.
I hate that.
Ooh.
I hadn't heard that.
Not
So they
either.
didn't get to finish
don't
the
know.
15
I don't know if
15-8 game. Well, it doesn't
I
say
don't
at the
know.
bottom under. With
I would
an asterisk,
think I would think they wouldn't start back after something
stop
like that.
due to
but-
fighting, shooting. It don't.
Yeah.
It don't say that here. How about a comeback for Cherryville last night? They come back to beat Blacksburg 21-20. Coach Pruitt's team is 2-1.
Well, that's, given their schedule, that was
Yeah,
a big win.
it's
for
going to
them.
get brutal
'Cause
here
get
shortly.
this, they got Chase coming up.
One of the
They-
best 2A teams in the state.
And their conference schedule is front loaded. They got Shelby and East Gaston to start out with in the conference.
And then they got Burns sometime down in
And Burns
in that.
looming
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah. This one to me was the surprise of the night. Forest View beats Freedom
Yeah, that's
13-7
Ooh.
last night. As far as a winner, because Forest View hadn't scored a point,
No.
and they gave up about 95, I
Including
think.
55 to East.
I think
right?
they gave up 53.
53.
53 and 42 to Burns. Now they have played very good teams.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
Freedom not on anywhere near the level of the.
Not
those
on the
two.
level of East Lincoln and Burns, that's for sure. But 13-7.
Now I probably would have picked Freedom if I was
Yeah.
picking that game.
Yeah, I
but
would have too. And congratulations to Forest View for
Mm-hmm.
getting in the win column against. But Freedom, I think they've won a game or two, hadn't they?
They beat East Burke.
Okay, beat East Burke, and we don't.
I think they lost to Crest
Yeah, they did.
week one.
Yeah. Let's see. No score on Carson South Stanley. West Henderson beats Polk County 40-26. David Avery, your score is not on Max Preps.
Oh, I saw it.
This okay.
54-7.
Well, my format doesn't have it.
Yeah,
I knew it was 54-7, but I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, mine had it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Disregard. Maybe I need to refresh mine because it might have been. I'm not going to do it right now though. But it might have been added. 54-7 last night. West
I got
Lincoln
a question
rolls.
for you. When for the first time this year, does West Lincoln lead the friendly confines of Douglas C. Linhart Stadium?
It's either a trip to Bandy's or a trip to Maiden.
Okay.
I know.
I'll
I
let
know
them tell me
Bandy's is
that.
their next game.
It
It says home.
does it?
That's home.
I think they go to Maiden the following week.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So they're all
only 3 road games.
Yeah. Yep.
Maiden, West Caldwell, Lincoln.
And I'll,
3 road games.
yeah. And I'll explain those to you during the break. While
Which
they have
the conference
7
is always
games.
going to be 3 and 4
Yeah.
or 4 and
Right.
3.
Right. Yep. Maiden wins last night over St. Stephen's by a score of 29-19. I think a much improved St. Stephen's team from what we've seen the past couple years.
Yep.
Asheville 28-0 over Brevard. Albemarle 57-12 over Owen. That's a pretty good trip too, to ride from Albemarle up to Owen. Davie County over North Davidson 28-21. It's Chase over North Gaston 65-14. I don't know who all's in that conference that Chase is in.
They don't have
Well,
a
Polk
chance.
County's in it. That'll
Yeah.
be a challenge.
Chase is my pick to win that though. They've been
They've been very impressive.
Yes, they have. I mean, hadn't all three of their scores been very lopsided like this one?
And Hendersonville,
I don't think quite what they have been the last
not as
couple
good as
years.
last year.
Yeah, but
Brevard is in it.
Brevard's pretty decent, even though they were shut out by Asheville. But
I think Polk County might be their biggest challenge in there.
Yep. And that's not the Dots, right? That's not Al Bundy's Polk County.
Polk County is just 1 and 2.
Very close game last night in Gaston County. Stuart Kramer beat East Gaston 27-21. Hendersonville did win big last night over East Henderson 53-20. Mallard Creek and South Point with an E. That's the Rock Hill South Point. Very, very good game. South Point wins it at home 16-13 over Mallard Creek. Hickory jumped out to a huge lead.
I saw Mallard Creek is playing Gaffney
today.
Next week.
Wow. Yeah, that can't hurt them. I mean, that's good competition. And if you can compete with those top South Carolina teams, you're going to have a pretty good season. I was mentioning Hickory jumped out to a big lead on Newton. Newton cut it to 7 at one time, but Hickory wins by 10, 38-28. No score on Salisbury and East Rowan. Andrews beat Buncombe County 52-6. No score on this is my favorite matchup of the night last night. Out of Mississippi, Choctaw Central visited Cherokee. I love that. I mean, that's great that they get together and play that.
Choctaw Central.
Ledford defeated Wheatmore 70-0 last night. And hand it to Mitchell County here. You got the 1A going up against the 4A. The 4A Watauga just coming off a nice win over Maiden. This game was 21-all.
Yeah, I got a score for you.
And it was Watauga beating Mitchell 28-21.
Choctaw Central 30, Cherokee 20.
Okay. So Choctaw out of Mississippi.
Score stream.
Choctaw out of Mississippi rolls in.
Was that where they saw Billy Joe up on Choctaw Ridge?
I don't know.
The song, Ode to Billy Joe.
I'll take your word for it. I know Tim McGraw mentions
half Cherokee and Choctaw.
Yeah. I forgot about that part.
Was a Tim McGraw
that's right, the song, yeah.
Half Cherokee and half Choctaw. Yeah. How about that? Maybe that's why they played last night. They got together and had a reunion. West Rowan, Mooresville wins over West Rowan 35-14. A.L. Brown 28, Rocky River nothing. Providence Grove over Jordan Matthews 44. I remember when Jordan Matthews used to be good every single year. Jets of Jordan Matthews. Mm-hmm. But last night Providence Grove 44-0 over those Jets. The Jets were grounded. Randleman 47, Montgomery Central 7. East Surrey over West Stokes 42-7. Another one you better watch out for come playoff time. I always make a deep run under Coach Loman up there at East Surrey. It says here now that Ashe County and Wilkes has finally started. On my screen it says live. I don't know if you guys see that or not. Live game started. So I'm hoping that is way late.
28-14 Ashe County is what I have.
Good pitching performance last night. Thomasville beats T.W. Andrews 38-2. A lot of hitting though in that Thomasville lineup. Statesville loses for the second week in a row. Lake Norman 35, Statesville 14.
Well, that just kind of begs the question: who is going to challenge East Lincoln?
Nobody.
Now the most surprising score to me last night.
East Lincoln will run away with that conference.
Oh yeah, they'll run away with the conference. The most surprising score to me last night. The winner was Forest View. The score was shutting out Burns. Kings Mountain 27-0.
Yeah.
Over Burns, and Burns had just come off of scoring how many points over Crest? I mean, 33-12.
33-12.
I mean, did that not surprise you that they were shut out?
Yes, it did.
You know,
and I think it was 7-0 for a long time.
I mean,
and then Kings Mountain scored a few.
Again, I think there was a defensive score
half
by Kings Mountain too, and it may have broke it open.
Wow, 27-0 Kings Mountain. I don't know. You know what? All this sets up is the end of the season. I'm sure the grand finale's Crest and Kings Mountain.
Yep.
And now they got those huge wins last night, and they're going to play. Start selling those half and half tickets now. That's all I can tell you. Jason just sent me a link. It says Hillside. The headline says Hillside and Dudley game called at halftime after multiple fights.
Halftime.
minor injuries reported.
too bad.
I'm not going to pull up the video right now. If there is a video, I'm going to watch it later. I don't want to.
So that doesn't
interfere,
say shooting. It's multiple fights.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
at least they're hopefully
Yep.
that's
also,
bad enough.
I did hear that it was fights among fans.
Also-
it was not involving the
right.
on the field.
I didn't even think players anyway. Also get from Evan Barber, same thing. The Dudley game will not resume due to home fan did not resume because of home fans, etc. fighting. The game was called at halftime. Ed says my buddy at the police my buddy was the referee. Said there was police everywhere for that game. He said the Butler game was played in Charlotte. They played? We were talking about that a little earlier. That New Hanover maybe, or wasn't it a Wilmington team?
Yeah.
And he said this is the best thing you put on here. Enjoy listening to y'all. Good stuff.
Yeah, I got a
So
message
appreciate
from
you,
Edwin
Edwin.
last week. I just didn't see it until we were off the
Till
air.
it's too late. Yeah. I do that sometimes. Sometimes they don't pop right up. I also want to mention what Butch says here. Kyle Lohman has St. Stephen's
St.
playing
Stephen's,
very
yeah.
well. And that's what I say. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are
Kyle
a much
Lohman.
improved team. Yep.
Another
And the brother
chip
up
off
at,
the old Loman coaching tree.
Yep. They're both doing
Yeah,
well.
because they won their opener. That's what they won in 2, but they played well.
I'm not sure about the record.
Not either.
I think they're. I don't know. For some reason, I thought they were 2-1. Maybe I'm wrong.
St.
about
Stephen's.
Yeah.
They beat Bandy's.
That. Yeah, they're 2-1.
Yeah, that's
then.
what got my attention.
Who'd they play
Well,
the second week?
No, I'm wrong. You're right. They lost. I keep thinking they won last night because we're talking about them.
Yeah.
But they did lose. They just played a good maiden team to a 10-point game. So that's what I was just had it mixed up between a win and a loss. So I can't remember who they did play week 2. I think Bunker Hill beat them.
Bunker Hill. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. And Bunker Hill's 3-0. They're going to head into the conference season just like they did last year. I think they were 3-0. Were they not when conference play started last year?
Yeah.
We're going to take our final time out. We'll come back and talk about some of these high school games here on Sports Talk. If you haven't weighed in, the songs this week are I Won't Back Down and Night Moves. Which would you listen to? Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. David, Mike, and Brett here with you. The final 10 minutes this morning and talking high school football. You guys think about this. Mike Powell, you ready? You ready to think about this?
I am.
We're going to go through and talk a little bit, just briefly. I want to mention this. West Lincoln last night in their win. Mason Avery, another big night, 12 carries, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns in that game to lead the Rebels to a 54-7 win over Fred T. Ford. Who would be I don't even think we have to debate who's the surprise team in high school football this year on a negative side, because I think we'd all agree on who that is. And I don't even like to mention the negative anyway.
No.
But that's got to be Richmond. You know?
Oh, you're talking about statewide.
Statewide.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I thought locally North Lincoln came
Yeah,
to mind.
Yeah,
I'm surprised North Lincoln's 0-3.
Yeah, that is a surprise
That is a bit of a
that they're
surprise.
0-3. But think about who a surprise is on the upswing in North Carolina. Mike's going to give a little information. I just mentioned briefly on West Lincoln and their rout over Ford last night. Avery's big night once again, but Mike's been over there calculating a little bit on the East Lincoln defense. Is the best defense I've ever seen the Mustangs have, and I thought after watching them play, after watching them scrimmage early in the season, and then watching them play last night, it may be the best all-around team that they've had. Now, when they had the Surratts, they were really good. Don't get me wrong. But as far as 22 players, though, Mike, it might be the best all-around team, but the Surratts took them a long way, and I'm not sure they can go to where the Surratts took them. That's what I'm trying to say.
They might have more talent across the board, but this team would not beat the Chaz Surratt.
No. I wouldn't think so.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
But I'm going to tell you right now, their defense, what do they give up, 6 or 8 points?
8 points.
Outscore the opponents 116-8.
116-8. And, I mean, they are big, they are strong, and they are fast. And that's a pretty good combination to have on defense. And like they've got Cutter that's going to West Virginia, but you guys made a good point when we got here this morning before we went on the air. The defense is so good, he don't stand out.
No,
not
overwhelmingly.
We're not saying he makes plays, but it's just the whole defense is so good. They're going to cruise. They're going to cruise through that Western foothills.
When Lincoln snapped the ball to the quarterback, there were 3 or 4 guys in his face, and whoever he threw it to, there were 5 people around him. It's like it felt like they had 15 guys on the field. Now
I do think Lincoln's got a pretty good defense,
and
they play well. And if
Lincoln defends East Lincoln.
Well,
they get pressure on the quarterback,
and the score's a little bit deceiving. It was 27-0, but they scored a third quarter touchdown on a 4th and 15 play, maybe in the back of the end zone.
Yeah,
and they also the final one came on a 25-yard punt return.
That's right.
That actually was deflected off the back of a Lincoln.
Yeah, kind of a freakish
blocker
thing there in the end zone. Yeah, that's right.
So,
and it was like Lincoln was just waiting to down the ball, and Markel Clark just runs up, picks it up, and
which is a great play by him.
Yeah, nobody.
And he ran up because he was
back at the 50.
Yeah, he was going to be.
But now what I'm trying to say out of all this is, East Lincoln's defense I do think is great. Their offense may get to where it needs to be, but I do think at this point they could run into some teams. Lincoln last night could have easily held them to 13. Yeah. They didn't.
Their offense has the potential to be great.
It does.
They got a lot of good players
on offense. You got Mazzell back there running it, and you got a lot of weapons you can throw to.
And I think that running back is as good as anybody Lincoln's going to see this year.
And that's hard for me to say that I think somebody could stop their offense, but that's hard for me to say because their first 2 games they put up huge numbers. Last night more modest. But,
well, look at it this way: Lincoln had 16 net yards rushing last night.
How much?
So I had 16.
16 yards.
Net.
Yeah. You're not going to run the ball on them. It's going to be very hard to run the ball on them. I will be at the Hickory East Lincoln game. I'm going to make it a point to be that's the one I see.
That's the one game. If indeed they are challenged that I'm pointing to, but
I still say at least 2 touchdowns. I just can't see it. I still say I just think East Lincoln is a 2 touchdown favorite in that game. If I had to say it right now, I think that game. It's not far away though. Is it? They play pretty early.
Pretty early.
Yeah, I think
I think it's in September.
It's either next week. Not next week. It's either their next game or the one after. Their first 2 conference games are Hickory and Statesville, but I can't remember.
Yeah, how about
I can't remember the order.
The first one's Hickory.
You may be right. I may be crazy.
And Hickory,
after all these years,
before the season started, I would have said Hickory and East Lincoln were even, but Hickory hadn't really been impressive so far. I mean, they lost Alexander Central pretty bad.
Yeah.
They only beat Newton by 7 last night, which surprised me.
Yeah, they were up a little more on
Newton. I would say East Lincoln's a 3-touchdown favorite over Hickory.
Would you say 3?
Yeah.
I was thinking 3. I just didn't want to say it. I didn't want it to sound like, but hopefully Coach Glass didn't. He'll text me.
That's wrong to say. I mean, based on what the 2 teams have done so far, I agree. East Lincoln looks like they're by far the best team.
Most people would welcome us calling them a big underdog.
Yeah,
they would welcome that because that would give them some fire. And I do plan on seeing that one. I do think I'll just go ahead and throw this out there. I doubt I make the trip to Statesville when East Lincoln goes to Statesville, but
Greyhound Holler
in that one. I mean, East Lincoln's a 4-touchdown favorite right now. Statesville's lost their last 2 games. That challenge is going to be.
They must have lost a ton of players to graduation off that team. It was really good in 20.
Yeah, they did.
21.
They did. Yeah, Statesville. Yeah, I hate whenever I click on something on Max Preps and I get the out of bounds. Like, you can't go there. Come on, I'm trying to see East Lincoln's schedule. But it won't let me look.
Memorable play for me last night was that back of the end zone catch by Markel Clark
Yeah.
on 4th and 15.
Yep, and it was in the corner, and it was close, and he leaped.
And it was
very
well
high.
defended.
And it was a bullet
Oh yeah, he
Bullet
threw a
thrown.
rocket.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was.
I thought he might have been out of the back of the end zone, but we had the guy filming up on top of the press box go back and look, and he said he was in.
And I told you, I sent you a message. I said from where we were, it looked good. Looked like he had
And
his
I thought-
feet in, and I mean, it was barely like maybe a foot.
And I thought the officials weren't in a great position to see if he was in or not.
Yeah, that happens a lot on pass plays.
Yeah.
3 scores last night for Markel Clark, 2 touchdown receptions, and then the
and then
punt
the
return.
Yep, and they've got other weapons on offense too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've got Daly, the sophomore
10
running
carries
back.
for 141.
Yeah, 10 for 141.
He's going to be a Division I
yes, he
running
is.
back.
Yes, he is.
He's already built.
Good instinct.
He was built like that in middle school.
Yeah.
They got Daly. They got Shropshire, who's also a weapon out there. They got
forget
Matt
Walker.
Beam's boy Jackson, who's a weapon at wide receiver.
Walker,
and
Shropshire,
Walker, who's
Clark.
headed to Virginia. So yeah, that team is pretty loaded. And just about everybody we named there play. 2 or 3 of them anyway play on the defensive side as well. So. As a matter of fact, I think Walker's actually going as a DB
I think
to Virginia.
right.
So, you guys got a surprise at this point in the season on the positive side? I mean, who has come out of the gates? Well,
Surprise.
it may not be.
Kings Mountain
Yeah.
wins over Shelby,
Yeah.
Burns, and Asheville.
3-0
Three
for
good
Kings
wins.
Mountain.
Yeah, that's not shabby. That's for sure.
That's a very impressive win list.
Yeah, if we're going
Kings Mountain and South Point will play in a few weeks.
If we're going even broader, I like to keep it in this area, but if we're going even broader, I'm going AC Reynolds because they haven't just won 3 games. They've blown out 3 pretty good teams,
Mm-hmm.
That's an impressive resume as well here in the early going. Glad to see St. Stephen's, like Butch said a few minutes ago, talking about Kyle Lohman and what he's done.
Bunker Hill, even despite heavy graduation.
Heavy
losses,
graduation,
3-0.
or 3-0.
That's a positive.
Yep. It's just I'm not surprised by where East Lincoln is. I'm not surprised by where West Lincoln is. They're both 3-0 on the season and convincing wins for the most part.
Is everything pointing to West Lincoln Maiden down the road? And
well, that's going to be the
see
first strong, and that's like this.
That's early, pretty early too.
Well, we talked about that a little bit ago. I'm pretty sure it's right after Bandy's. I think
wonder
it's 3
how
weeks.
good
3 weeks away.
Bunker Hill is.
That's right.
If they can play with those 2 teams.
That's the one I know.
Now we do know they were missing their best running back, and I don't think he played last night. Remember, we got a message last week from Coach Avery that said that he had gotten injured and didn't play most of the game last week, and then last night.
And they didn't need him
not play
last night. Well, they only won by 7.
They only won by 7, and
but they're off next week. So you got. I don't know how bad his injury is, but that's.
Are you guys
I don't either.
completely
2 weeks.
discounting the Lincoln Wolves and as a?
Their defense is good enough to play with.
I don't
about
think they can
anybody.
contend
I
for
don't
the
know if
conference
they can-
title.
Yeah,
No.
I think they can play West Lincoln and Maiden close.
yeah, they got a really good defense.
They do.
I mean, it showed
But
last night.
They got to figure out a way to move the ball a little bit.
Their defense played good enough last night to win the game. Because if they had points, you don't even know if they get those. Those other 2 scores. You don't know how it pans out or anything. But yeah, they are struggling a little bit on offense though, and I don't know if that'll come around down the road or not.
And they didn't really run the ball that great against North Lincoln the week before. They threw it well in the short passing game, and that was their bread and butter. But they haven't been able to establish a run.
I'd still say that if I'm giving East Lincoln stronghold on that Western Foothills, but I still say the pecking order until proven wrong is Maiden, West Lincoln, and then the rest.
Yes, that seems to be.
And we'll find out about that one in just a couple weeks. I tell you, the first 3 weeks have gone by pretty quick, and
At least we're into September.
September morning. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We appreciate it. We had a good time, and I want to say Night Moves actually won this poll today. It was close for a while, but I think Night Moves was the first time we really had a true winner. Night Moves
clear cut on Night Moves.
Listen to Mike with the old clear cut over there.
Was it 5 to 4?
Yeah.
I was more than 5 to 4.
Yeah, it was a little hairy.
Yeah, 6'3".
Probably about 65%. But for Mike, Brett, I'm David. See you next week here on Sports Talk.